We are here at Broadcast Engineering Society's Expo 2018, and we are having our guest in this exhibition, Les Sabel, who is from the Technical Committee of World DAB. Hello Les, you are welcome in this exhibition, and we would like you to provide some information about DAB standard, which is very popular radio standard for digital broadcasting.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to be here, and it's an absolute pleasure. So I'll try and provide as much as I can in the conference and in this particular interview.
What are the other competitive standards available for digital broadcasting in radio?
Well, there's a range of digital standards, and each one has its purpose. For example, in Europe we have DAB, DAB+, which I'm representing here. We have the DRM consortium, we have HD radio in the US, and ISDBT from Japan. Of all of those, we don't really see a great deal of expansion, except really for DAB in Europe and around the world, and DRM in India, and that's DRM 30. Now, I talked about fitness for purpose, and what we see in actual fact is in Europe, because there's a dense population, we see that DAB Plus now, of course, for the last 10 years, is the standard of choice because of that density, because of the number of programs that are delivered. DAB is the standard to deliver multiple programs. DRM 30, on the other hand, is a 1 or 2 channel service rather than a 20 channel service per channel, which is good at wide area, very wide area distribution. So we get two ends of the spectrum. We get DAB for many services, high population, and we get DRM 30 for very wide area, small number of services. They're the really standards of choice.
You mean to say that in other radio standard, which are meant for digital broadcasting, we have multiple channel facility, but in case of DAB Plus, we have around 20 channels, which can be accommodated on the same frequency. Am I right?
That's correct. In fact, you can have up to 64 channels, but the bit rate is a bit low. So generally we see around 20 to 24 services per frequency channel.
But I have read some documents about DAB Plus, and I came to know that HD radio and DRM Plus, they can be operated in VHF band 2. But in case of DAB Plus, it has to be in the VHF 3 band. So will it not be a problem because existing bands cannot be utilized for DAB Plus?
Okay, there's two parts to the answer. The first part is that DAB could be operated in the in the FM band, in band 2. It's just not standardized in that band. And the reason for that is because there's not seen to be a need due to the issues with FM. And FM congestion around the world is prevalent. It's prevalent in Australia, it's prevalent in Southeast Asia, it's prevalent in Europe. So there's not an opportunity to deploy digital radio in band 2 at the moment. So the focus is on band 3, which is being cleared across the globe through the digitisation of television. And we see as analog TV moves out of band 3, digital radio, DAB plus digital radio, can move into that band and provide a very wide range of services.
Norway is the first country who has gone for complete shutdown of analog FM transmission.
That's right.
Which are the other countries looking for this standard?
Oh, okay. So Switzerland is looking like the next country, looking to start switch off around 2020, which is only 2 years away. The north of Italy has already started switching off. The UK is on the verge of announcing a plan. They're at just over 49% of listening now on digital, so they will be announcing a plan this year, I'd imagine. Other countries which would be probably next would be Netherlands, Denmark and Germany. So there's quite a few moving in that direction now.
Okay. And in case of digital radio standards, in the entire world we are having different standards, and accordingly the receivers needs to be developed. What is the scenario of availability of the receiver as well as the cost of receiver in case of DAB plus?
Well, for DAB Plus, there is over 600 different models. 600. Those models start at around $20 US and go up. You can get very expensive ones, but the majority are in the $20 to $100 range, depending on the features. Depends if you want to have Wi-Fi features as well, or color screen features, and so forth. So there's a huge range. They're easily and readily available. Yeah, on top of that, we have a very high penetration in vehicles now. All the major brands support DAB+. If you look at the listening numbers now, or the rollout numbers in Norway, 98% of new vehicles has DAB+. In the UK, 88% has DAB+. Even in Australia, 46% now has DAB+. So very rapid migration into the automotive sector over the last 3 years. In fact, it's over 100% growth at the moment. That's how rapid it's happening. It's just becoming a standard feature.
Since DAB plus standard is being used in VHF band 3, do we have any limitation as far as range of transmission is concerned?
Radio always has a limiting distance. All radio types have a limiting distance dependent on the power of the transmitter and the distance from that transmitter. DAB Plus is designed to be robust and power efficient. And what that means is for the power you transmit, you get the maximum distance. So it is a purpose designed radio method for mobile communication. It's designed for vehicular communication, designed for reception indoors. So it's made to be robust. So of all the standards, it's got the best transmission distance for a single power.
What would be the range of transmission if we have a transmitter of operating in 20 kilowatt?
So 20 kilowatts ERP, it's very dependent on the environment, the antenna height, but typically you can expect a coverage area for good coverage range at mobile of somewhere between 30 and 50 kilometres. Somewhere in that range depending on your environment. More buildings, less distance, flat ground, more distance. It's usual propagation type of scenario.
Thank you so much for coming in this BES Expo 2018. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for having me.